Friends, I ask a second time, why did you not create the collection of virtue that would emancipate you completely from birth and death? Why did you not make any investigation as to where you should correctly direct your attention? How did you not hear the sound of the beating of the gong on the earth? Have you not seen the sowing of seeds in the field of the Tathagata and the giving of incense, garlands, and lamps? Have you not seen as well the offering of food and drink to the Tathagata, or the contentment of the 4 groups of followers, bhikshus, bhikshunis, male holders of lay precepts and female holders of lay precepts, these 4 groups of followers who are fully devoted to the teachings? They would speak like that to him and make accusations in order to benefit him. And, Your Majesty, you did not do even the slightest thing. Man, after coming to this planet Earth, you have committed non-virtuous actions. At that time, the Dharma King granted teachings to the dead person in verses. You have seen a Tathagata arise and heard the beating of the gong. You have heard the teaching of Dharma that goes to the peace of nirvana. Nevertheless, you did not act. At that the man spoke in reply, I was of a childish mind, coming under the sway of wicked friends. With a mind befuddled by desire, I committed wicked acts. I followed my desires as well and took the lives of living beings. I wasted even what belongs to the Sangha. Unbearable is the fruit that comes from that. With a mind that would do harm, I caused the destruction of stupas. I uttered 2 abusive words. Even my mother I tormented. Of what I did with my body, the shortcomings I recognize. In the great hell of lamenting, extremely unbearable rebirths I see. I will feel the cessations of crushing hell. Likewise, I will experience sensations in the extremely hot hell and an unbearable Mahavichi, split open in great lotus hell and as a hell being into these sufferings. In the greatly fearsome, marked with black lines, I will be born 100 times. After they are killed, hell beings again will see those frightful things. Over and over they will fall 100 yojanas into great dangers, and they will not find any way out. Later they will plunge into darkness. In the hell that bears the name razor, 1,000 razors will arise. They will be born in front of razors in the hundreds of thousands of millions. Due to faulty deeds I have done, my body will be sliced by them. The body will be destroyed completely by unbearable great and churning winds. Continually in hells like these, I will experience suffering. All these beings will see me, my body, in tremendous pain. I took away others' wealth as well in order to sustain my household. O my sons and my daughters, brothers and sisters similarly, father, mother likewise too, many friends and relatives and servants and laborers, and cattle, livestock, and assistants, I went astray toward aims that were bad. For vessels of gold and silver, and likewise for soft fine garments, and setting out to make a home, through all of these I went astray. A very splendid house I built with men and women lounging about. I went astray through the lute and cymbal, my uncontrolled mind filled with delight. Though my body was washed in scented waters, even now it still lacks gratitude. Body, you are mindless, but for your sake I went astray. In the future, not one soul being will become my protector, when a great and churning wind unbearably ravishes my body. Likewise, I ate exquisite tasty foods, savoring variety with my tongue. Around my head were bound extremely many well-made garlands, lovely ones. By beauty my eyes were led astray. There is no protection for the eyes. The eyes are the cause of those misdeeds I committed after I had seen. My ears are the cause for which hands were torn and cut by diamonds. On both my arms were fastened bracelets, rings were placed upon my fingers. About my throat were strands of pearls, even both legs were heavily adorned. Chain anklets were fashioned for them, and on them too there rested gold. My body had diverse gems upon it, and likewise too were bands of gold. Amusing myself with my great wealth, my mind became extremely attached. Once I had touched very smooth things, with strong craving I kept them close. I also placed my body atop a variety of carpets and beddings. After bathing in excellent fragrant waters, I anointed my body with fragrance. I scented the air with incense of divine camphor and sandalwood. I beautified my complexion. I daubed myself lavishly with musk. After anointing myself with scented antique oils and jasmine and champaka flowers, I clothed myself in garments of fine white Benares muslin. After coming down from the back of an elephant, I mounted atop the back of a horse. I thought of myself as a king. People scurried in front of me. I was excessively familiar with female attendants who were highly trained in song and dance. Wild animals who had done no harm, with arrows I struck and killed. Because I did not know of future lives, I committed wicked acts like these. I ate the flesh of other beings, and thus the suffering of mine will become unbearable. But I did not understand death. I was of a childish mind, and so I nourished my body. Now that death has come to me today, I have no one at all as a protector. All you friends and relatives, why do you look into my face? For what do you wear tattered mourning clothes? For what do you weep and lament out loud? For what do you loosen and dishevel your hair? For what do you draw blood in grief? For what do you scatter dust about the head? For what do you beat your breast? During my lifetime I ought to have abandoned wickedness. Why are you in anguish? My body has become the food of jackals, dogs, crows, and birds. It is of no use to nourish this body. It is the property of the serpent of death, and thus a person will continually be born. The medicine that frees one from this fear, that is the sort of medicine to take. The medicine that the doctors gave, that is of no use to me. Give me now, at my dying time, the medicine of Dharma that sets one free from the serpent of the delusions. Do not give flesh to me. Though this body has been nurtured so, it will be destroyed inevitably. Since it bestows suffering, why take up this heap of wickedness? This body, though tended with great care, will engage in vicious acts. Son and daughter, for what reason do you gaze upon me with your eyes? Protect me from this illness. O my son and my daughter, why do you weep pointlessly? Do nothing unworthy for my sake. In order to support you, I even plundered others' wealth. Now that my death time has arrived, it is hopeless what to do. I am terrified of birth and lower realms. I am completely crushed by dying as well. I feel acutely the sense of touch, of discrimination. Sensations, and conditioned mental factors. Due to craving, childish beings wander and reach unbearable results. Birth into bad families, there too one is bound to grief. Knowing I had little merit, I caused trouble for others. My generosity and ethics deteriorated completely, and I turned my back on the Dharma. Because I did not understand rebirth, I was deluded by the serpent of delusion. Due to ignorance, childish beings wander where there is no liberation. Not knowing the meaning of liberation, confused, they commit wicked acts. Due to delusions, childish beings wander, their minds continually disturbed. In the body that has various types of bonds, fire blazes and burns it up. In places where there is no happiness, confused, the body utterly wanders. It does not know that happiness from which utter happiness arises. The field of the Buddha that gives happiness, the wheel of the Dharma that is the supreme medicine, ethical conduct that is true ethics, these are the pure voice of the Tathagata. Then the Blessed One spoke to the Bodhisattva, the great being Paisajasena, as follows. Paisajasena, although sentient beings weep and lament at their time of death, no one will be their protector except for the ripening of the results of good actions they have done. The Blessed One spoke these words and uttered the following verses as well. By committing wicked acts, they fall into sentient beings' hells. They will be dressed in burning garments. In their thirst, they will drink molten iron. Burning embers will fall on their bodies. Once burnt in the extremely unbearable, greatly terrifying hells, their bodies will be set ablaze. They will not know happiness. They will not know Dharma either in any way. Due to what is not Dharma, childish beings wander, not finding even the slightest happiness. Those who have faith and ethics in abundance, possess wisdom and great austerity, and associate with virtuous friends, these will swiftly become a Tathagata.